Hey Ian, Ian from Korg here downstairs in the synth dungeon at Synthfest. You've got some interesting products here. They're not specifically Korg, though, are they?
Yeah, these little guys are Reon Driftboxes, and they are from Osaka in Japan. They're a little boutique synth company, a very small operation of just a handful of people, and they've been in business since 2015 producing these wonderful Driftboxes.
So what are they? They're little kind of, they're almost like stomp box size, aren't they? Where should we start?
So if we start with the R, which is what I would call the centerpiece of the range. So Driftbox R is a 2-oscillator analog synth with a 24 dB filter, low pass filter. You have ADSR envelope control and AD envelope control. Each of the oscillators can be controlled via separate CV sources.
Oh right, so we've got
plenty of connections on the back. There's also a link switch, so if you're just coming in from one source, you can flick that switch in and control both oscillators from one control voltage. You've got some very flexible modulation in terms of FM for each of the oscillators, and you've also got a sync so that they're tied together. You've also got an EEG mode where you can modulate the pitch of the VCO1 via the envelope.
Pretty flexible.
Pretty flexible, yeah.
Can we hear it? Does it make a noise?
Yep, we can indeed.
Have we got just a simple wave? Ooh, that sounds nice.
Sorry if I did.
So does VCO1 modulate VCO2? Right.
No, it doesn't quite work like that. So if I've got that on FM and that one on FM, then it is doing exactly what you say there. So they're cross-modulating each other there in that mode. So if I turn that.
I'm sensing a lot of bottom end in my headphones. I don't know if it'll come across on the video.
It certainly packs a punch, this thing does.
So it's quite simple, but
simple but flexible, and there's lots of scope there for sound creation. And it's also very nice for connectivity to other synthesizers, be it modular, our own MS-20, or even the Volcas and the SQ1 as we are today using that.
Right, yeah, so no extra drum noise. And then this is another little synth.
So I'll kill that one. So this one is the Driftbox SE. It differs in the fact that it's a 4-voice paraphonic synthesizer. So
is that only over MIDI, or can you drive that over?
Only over MIDI, that is. So the way that the waveform behaves and the modulation is identical, but this differs in that when you toggle through the high-low, it will step up and down octaves. So it gives you a little bit more range rather than having to adjust the VCO frequency control. The CV control mechanism is the same. The filter is different in this. It's a 12 dB low pass. There's also a drift control, which enables you to have some control over the pitch as well as the filter. You can disable either of the axes using these two toggle switches, or you can have both of them active. What else?
We're hearing a square wave there, aren't we? So yeah.
Different pulse width.
Pulse widths.
Bit of noise.
We take the resonance down a bit. Yeah, I'm getting a decent amount of bottom end out of that as well. Nice. And so what else have we got?
So at the other end we've got the Driftbox W, which is a variation of this with a different type of interface. So you've got the same 2-oscillator configuration, but instead of having a waveform switch, you've got a waveform dial there, and it will select through the different waveforms depending on the position of that. But you've also got these joysticks which control the volume as well as the pitch.
Ah, right.
So you can get some pretty way out sound effects by just positioning the joysticks in various positions. You've also got a joystick for the filter as well, and there's also an analogue delay where you've got a feedback control on the rotary, and then you've got a time and a depth control on the
It's
joystick.
interesting. There's a sort of there's a Volca vibe about them.
There is something, but they kind of complement rather than.
It's not like a copy. It's just a
No,
sort of
it's
an
very
approach.
different. Yeah, and this is quite a different type of construction. The manufacturing technology is not like a Volca, which is surface mount. This is all your more old school through hole type of thing.
Right.
And the chips that they use for the filters are Curtis and SSM.
Right.
So
Okay.
they're well
a bit more
tested
expensive
and
a bit more. Yeah.
well, that is the other side of things, but it does give you that really nice tone. And the designers quoted me as one as being very close to the Prophet 5 and the other as like a Jupiter 8. So it'll have a sound that people are quite sort of fond of.
And there's a couple more boxes here. There's what's that? This is a mixer.
This is a mixer, right? Yeah. So the Driftbox C, 4-channel mixer, which can be used for mixing either audio signals or CV signals. You've got a switch at the back that determines the mode of the strip. There's an attenuator. There's a CV attenuation control. And then you'll see here you've got the memory, which allows you to
interesting. So you could almost use it for patching.
different
and
scenes.
routing.
Yeah, you can use it as a patching, and what it will do is it will remember the position of the controls, so that you've got quite a lot of control over your gear from that one
Is there
box.
any CV control over any of the parameters?
This has got a CV out and a gate.
Okay, but it doesn't. Yeah, you can't
But
control the volume or
no.
Okay.
And that's to do with each of the strips when they're in CV mix mode.
8 memories. Right.
Yeah.
And what about this guy?
So this guy here is a 2-track sequencer, which can sequence both CV and VCA simultaneously. If I just turn on the boot up, which is very exciting. And what this does is it hypnotises people into buying the gear. It's like one of those.
Right.
But yeah, it goes a bit crazy. So it's an interesting product. It's very, very different and unique.
So you're inputting data via the joysticks.
So what you're able to do, you can run it as a master slave via MIDI or via external gate, or it can run off its own internal clock. You can create stuff in step mode in that switch there. You can have things played into it in the 16 steps, so it's quantized, or in real time. So real time would be really useful for when you're doing automation to sound parameters.
So you could automate moves effectively of control voltage.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And these 2 buttons here, they take you through the steps. You step up and down, you move the joystick, go to the next step, and then when you've done the right, that's it. It's in memory.
Right. Neat.
Really simple.
So
we've done.
What's the status with these? I mean, are they available now? I mean,
So
distributing?
As I said, we are looking at distributing these, and this whole event was part of a test for us. We wanted to see what people's reaction is, and so far it's been incredibly positive. So I have to go back and have the various conversations, but all being well, we are looking at probably early part of next year. And the reason I give that sort of lead time is because they're, as I say, a very boutique company. Their manufacturing is quite, it's not huge like Korg, for example. So they've got resources that they would then go to then up the manufacturing, and that takes a bit of time for that to all build up.
Yeah,
and there's also the other things like all the CE approvals going through at the moment so that they can be brought in. So there's quite a few steps to be made because they've only until now have sold in Japan.
Right.
So there isn't a website or anything like that. It really is very thin on the ground, any information about these products.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Ed.
It's a pleasure.